Rick Lagina, Dave Blankenship, Charles Barkhouse, and Doug Crowell are exploring the Money Pit area with Choice Drilling Team. They are excited about the possibility of finding a debris field, with the team being convinced that it is a tunnel leading from Shaft 6. In 1861, a team of treasure hunters dug a second shaft 18 feet west of the original Money Pit to avoid booby traps. However, at a depth of 118 feet and just 1 foot shy of their target, the tunnel, known as Shaft 6, suddenly filled with seawater. 3 weeks ago, the Oak Island team made a discovery at a depth of 109 feet, suggesting they had located Shaft 6. If the team can verify that the wood they found came from Shaft 6, they may be closer than ever to locating the original Money Pit and an underground debris field filled with incredible artifacts and treasure. Using a specialized sonic drilling rig, the team will extract core samples at intervals of 10 feet and collect spoils into plastic sleeves to be carefully searched for any important clues or valuable objects. The team believes that the westernmost edge of Shaft 6 has offered a much welcome breakthrough, suggesting that by continuing to drill east of the site, they will be able to follow the tunnel to the Money Pit's precise location, approximately 18 feet away. The team is excited to exploit this find and have 3 data sets that indicate there is indeed a tunnel there. This means they need to go back and scrutinize the geotech around where this suggests the Money Pit would sit, which supports further investigation. At the wash table near 10 by 10, surveyor Steve Guptill and treasure hunter Michael John are sifting through the spoils from a borehole known as E5.25. Surveyor Steve Guptill and treasure hunter Michael John are examining a small cannonball or grape shot, which was used as artillery in both land-based and naval warfare dating back to the 15th century. Michael John, a researcher at the Oak Island Research Center, is investigating the discovery of a piece of artillery connected to a weapon used to cripple and sink warships on high seas. The team is working on a borehole near or intersecting the original Money Pit, which could be connected to the weapon. Marty Lagena and archaeologist Dr. Aaron Taylor are exploring the find, with Lagena suggesting grape shot as a possible weapon. Lagena and Dr. Taylor are also discussing the discovery of an old dress stone, or gunstone, which they believe is a projectile fired from a blunderbuss on an old ship. Blunderbusses, dating back to before the 17th century, were firearms with a short, large-caliber barrel and flared muzzle. They were a single-shot weapon that utilized gunstones, iron musket balls, and other projectiles. The discovery could potentially help corroborate James McQuiston's theory of who might have been behind the Oak Island mystery. The team is supervising the core drilling operation of the latest borehole in the C1 cluster, known as CD 4.5. Terry Matheson and Charles Barkhouse are overseeing the core drilling operation of the team's latest borehole in the C1 cluster, known as CD 4.5. The team is excited to see what they find, and whether this discovery could help corroborate James McQuiston's theory of who might have been behind the Oak Island mystery. The team is working on a new discovery that could provide valuable information about the history and artifacts found on the island. Charles Barkhouse and his team discovered a section of beam or wood in borehole CD 4.5, suggesting an in-place structure. They also found a metal object with possible evidence of a wooden tunnel 75 feet deep in boreholes CD 4.5. The team is interested in the C1 cluster area due to the frequent wood hits and metal finds. Rick Lagena arrived to inspect the new discoveries and received a detailed report. They hit wood at about 74 and 75 feet in CD 4.5 and found a chunk of metal at 75.5 feet. It is encrusted and has some weight to it, but it is hard to determine its nature. Rick Lagena confirmed that it was not from the rig. Another mystery was found in borehole D2, which had evidence of another wooden tunnel dating back to 1488 and a mysterious piece of metal containing significant gold. The team hopes that both potential tunnels could be connected to the original Money Pit. They plan to take the discovery onto the archaeology trailer and put it under XRF. The team is excited about the potential connection between the metals in D2 and the discovery at CD 4.5. They plan to take the findings onto the archaeology trailer and put them under XRF. Rick and Charles meet with Rick's brother Marty and professional conservator Kelly Barassa at the archaeology trailer. They discover an unusual piece of metal, measuring 75.5 feet, which they believe could be good. Kelly will use an X-ray fluorescence spectrometer, XRF, to conduct a chemical analysis of the encrusted object, which can identify the elemental composition of metal objects. Rick finds iron, while Marty finds gold. The Laginas and their team gather at the 10X drill site to pay tribute to their late friend and partner, Dan Blankenship. Rick created a beautiful plaque made from the island, and along with Dan's son Dave and daughter Linda Flowers, They have placed Dan's old drilling rig as a memorial to him at the site of his greatest breakthrough in the 50 years of work to solve the Oak Island mystery. Dan was a big part of their lives for the last 15 years, and they hope that when people visit the island in the future, they will remember the man and the individual. They are trying to follow and extend Dan's footsteps and validate more than a decade of hard work and personal sacrifices. In a year filled with amazing discoveries, including medieval tools, artifacts, evidence of something of great value lying buried in the fabled money pit, and extensive made structures in the swamp dating back as much as centimeters, Rick, Marty, and Craig have come closer than ever to revealing the truth behind Oak Island's incredible mystery. Charles, Rick's brother, urges him to keep the faith and believes that their story will change history as we know it, just as it has changed their lives and the lives of everyone around them forever. The story of 1200 AD people working in a swamp on Oak Island is a wonderful one, and they are just beginning to turn the last page on the Oak Island mystery. Martin Lagina, his son Alex, and friend Craig Tester visit St. Mary's University in Halifax to determine if Lot 21's antique brooch is half gold. A gemologist evaluated the good condition brooch. Researchers will use a high-powered scanning electron microscope to magnify the brooch up to tens of thousands of times its size and evaluate its chemical composition to determine if it is gold or another precious metal. Pure copper is black, while gold is brilliant. Marty is pleased about the ornate setting and the possibility of more treasure on Oak Island this year after finding the first gold piece. Marty calls a war room conference to tell his brother Rick and his colleagues the wonderful news. Rick and Marty Lagina and their team found their first gold on Oak Island, a milestone in the 223-year treasure search. They go back deeper after discovering a brooch and lead crucifix that may be older than anticipated. Dumas. Contracting Limited began a probe drilling operation from within the garden shaft today to search for items outdoors. Dumas is renovating the decaying 80-foot hole, which shows high gold trace evidence in water testing and may be near a treasure room connected to the original money pit. Marty Lagina wants something big in the 55-foot garden shaft. The team will manually explore several boreholes to determine its contents. The Dumas team is using a hydraulic earth drill to search a garden shaft for man-made workings and artifacts. To gather more proof, they'll drill 12 holes at varying angles in each shaft's 4 walls. They are also taking soil samples and a little wood piece to test for gold. The garden shaft inner lining wood pieces were found by a map scan. Archaeometallurgist Emma Culligan confirmed the discovery, saying, "Wood samples from 55 feet inside the shaft contain high trace gold. Wood samples cling to biological wood at 0.11% and are 100% correct." The discovery of this much gold is remarkable. Gold is being sought in the money pit area by the team. The outstanding results are prompting the team to cross-check and duplicate samples. They want to get nearer to the prize. Charles Barkhouse and geologist Terry Matheson are keenly watching borehole DN 11.5's 80 to 120-foot wealth zone potential. They are nearing discovery, but unclear how to proceed. They find a 90-foot deep hole in the treasure zone known for its gold. Now focused on discovering more gold, the crew can confirm they are near the top of the tunnel, due to the discovery of a tunnel at the same depth in 2 nearby boreholes that match the garden shaft. The crew is motivated to learn from missed opportunities and find gold. The narrative discusses an Oak Island treasure hunt by researchers. Their focus is on a tunnel near a garden shaft and a solid wood chunk in the middle. They will send a wood sample to the lab for metal testing. The crew found a tunnel and the garden shaft in DN 11.5's XRF readings. XRF was used to detect metals and elements in the wood sample from a 90-foot tunnel. Small gold amounts are an oddity. Gold sample of water and wood should lead to exploratory drilling or digging. This should reveal the riches at the bottom of the garden shaft, the team hopes. They will supply more samples and continue investigatory work.